What's up guys, welcome back to another video on what if Deku had Sun Jin Woo's powers, also known as the powers from solo leveling. Now before we start, I do want to state that I'm sorry that I haven't uploaded the past 2 days. Monday I had a sore throat, and Sunday we were doing a birthday celebration for me because my birthday was last Thursday. And because I was yelling and talking so much, it got me a sore throat, which carried over to Monday, not allowing me to upload. I do apologize. And the next thing I'm going to say is that I'm currently recording this on Monday. So when we get to 100 likes, not 100 likes, but 100 subs, I'm going to do a 100 subs special. And it's going to be a third What If series that I'm going to upload. And I'm going to start adding a third What If series onto the list. And that for the whole entire next 5 days after I reach 100 subs, I'll be uploading a video every single day. So for you guys who want to see more content from my channel, hit that subscribe button. And now we'll pick into where we left off on the last video. So Deku, Bakugo, and Elsie, which is how I take it you pronounce her name. Her name is spelled E-L-S-I, so I think it's Elsie. Don't know, but that's how we're going to pronounce it. Deku, Bakugo, and Elsie teleported out of hell. Deku looks and sees Elsie teleported out with him, and Elsie's looking around all confused. Midoriya's mom turns around to see her son's childhood friend, and a random purple-haired girl with pointy ears standing in her living room. Bakugo jumps out through the door. He dipped out. And Deku's like, "You fucking douche," as he sends one of his shadows into Bakugo's shadow to get him back later on. So his mom's like, "Deku, we're gonna have a talk." And Izuku Midoriya, we're gonna have a talk. As Deku holds his head and he's like, "Fuck." As Elsie's just looking around and she looks all confused. And Deku says, "Elsie, sit down over there for now." Yes, Midoriya," Elsie responds as she sits down on the chair in the living room. Deku's holding his hand as his mom's sitting on the couch waiting for him to start explaining. And he says, "Mom, before I start explaining, let me call All Might." Actually, no, I don't even want to leave you two in the same room right now. This is a very, very complicated situation that we have to fix. And also, what day is it? Well, seeing how you've been gone for 10 days. And Deku's like, 10 days? Wait a minute, how was I gone for 10 days? I assumed that time would be linear. I guess time must have been decelerated inside the world. So even though it was only 3 days for me and Bakugo's 10 out here. Fuck. That means I have to go back to school tomorrow. I can't deal with Elsie tonight either. Damn it. Oh, okay, fine. I'll deal with it later. As he pushes all to the back of his head. So he pulls a chair from the kitchen table out into the living room and sits across his mom while Elsie's sitting over to the left of Deku. And he's like rubbing his temples. And his mom's like, "So, would you like to start explaining, son?" "Yeah, so me and Bakugo, went into hell." "What was that?" "We went into hell." "No, I was just checking, I made sure." "How did you all head to hell?" "Well, you see, what happened is that I have the ability to open portals to different dimensions, and I got one that allowed us to go to hell, and technically me and Bakugo haven't been sleeping over at each other's houses. We've actually been going to different dimensions. I told All Might about it, so we were safe, and in case of emergency, we could teleport out for your shadow." "So, did you run into emergency, and that's why you all showed up in my living room?" "No, we decided to come back." "And you couldn't just leave throughout the portal that you created?" "No, you see, because the portal we created would not let us leave because it was the second floor, and we just decided to teleport out." And she's like, "Okay, so who's this girl?" And Deku explains that's Elsie after we almost killed her, and then his mom cut him off again. He's like, "You almost killed a female? What are you doing? Why are you almost killing? Are you killing people now?" Deku explains, "No, she's not human." And then the mother's like, that doesn't make it any more right. And he's like, yes, you're correct. It does not make it more right. But she is not human. She's a demon. And Elsie explains, she's like, hello, I'm Elsie. I am a demon from the lowest ranked clans of demons. And technically, he hasn't really killed any intelligent demons. He more or less killed beasts and monsters that run around. And Inko's like, I'm so sorry he drags you over here. So she's like, so can you send Elsie home? And Izuku's like, well, you see, to send her home, I would have to open up another portal. That means I would have to get a secondary key. And I can't gain a secondary key because UA Sports Festival and UA stuff coming up tomorrow. And also, I feel like I don't know if, even if we send her home, if we'll send her back to the same place or send her to a different place. Well, don't you have a shadow there? You do exchange with shadows that you have. Yes, you're right. I do. But I lost connection to that shadow after we teleported out. So what I'm hearing is that you took this girl out from her home and her family and left her stranded. And Elsie chimes in saying, well, actually he didn't. He asked my father if I could come with him. And Deku instincts is like, she didn't explain it. And then his mom was like, you did what? Deku's like, okay, we were going through hell, we found the first intelligent demon, which was Elsie, and we talked with her. She explained that there was an easier way to go up and that we only had to meet the other intelligent demons to move farther up by persuading them to let us. I said, okay. That's all we did, I swear. And then I asked her to come with us as a guide. Yes. And then I got teleported here. That's because you put your hand on my shoulder when I was exchanging Shadow Exchange, which brought you with us, and now we're here, and the events are gonna be kind of rocky for the next couple of days. Well, I can't really say that I'm not upset. I'm really upset at you, Zuku. And I'm like, yes, I understand, Mom. I'll take full responsibility for her while she is here. She can be an ambassador from the demon realm, from hell. Okay. And you were just talking about that you had to call All Might. You have All Might's phone number? Yes. I call All Might before we jump into the portals in case of emergency situations, so he can inform that currently we are lost in a portal. But now, I get to call All Might and tell him that, oh yeah, under certain situations, like the one we were just in, time works differently. Not to mention, the first thing that did not want to murder us, I accidentally brought it out into the human world. And then, I'm gonna ask her to get instated into UA, he says out loud. And Elsie thinks, UA, what's that? UA? You think they'll let a demon into UA? And he explains, it would be the safest procedure for us to do. Okay, whatever. I'm pretty tired tonight, I'm not gonna lie. And as long as you take responsibility for her, I really guess I can't be upset for your actions. Okay. But she will sleep in your room. What? Well, you brought her here and you said you'll take responsibility. Yeah, but there's a perfectly good couch. Nope, she will sleep in your room. You get to sleep on the couch. Fine. Yep, this is my punishment. Got it. Okay, great. Okay. Inko's mom goes... not Inko. Inko goes into her room and starts going to bed, while Deku starts explaining to Elsie about the world. So, Elsie, we're in the human world, the world I come from. I accidentally brought you here, and currently we do not know of a determinate way to take you back home. Do you understand this? Yes, I do. Now, my only question is that if you don't know that there's a determinate way to send me back, does that mean I'll ever see my father again? And Deku says, yes, you will. I'll guarantee 110% that you will see your father and you will see your family again. I will guarantee that. But right now, currently, you'll be staying here for at the least 2 weeks. 2 weeks? Why is that? Well, we have something going on called the UA Sports Festival that I have to participate in, meaning I can't just warp you out. And then after all of that, I then need time to chill and rest before going back into hell. And that's if considering the fact that this was the first time that we had left. I know I given us a checkpoint, but I don't know how I'm going to work back in or teleport back in. And Else goes, okay, so I understand the situation. He's like, yep, so now I'm going to call a friend of mine. His name is All Might. And I'm going to see if he can pull strings to get you into UA. But isn't that hero school that you just explained to me? Yes, UA is the hero school. But the main reason why I'm trying to get you inside of it is so, A, you don't mess up and do anything bad. I won't do anything bad. You're literally... Whatever. You're gonna listen. Okay, this is the situation we're in. And she thinks, okay, I'll listen. You know, that is an issue. I do understand the thing here and all of that. So I'm gonna introduce you to be an ambassador from hell itself. And she's like, but I'm not. Wouldn't that be lying? And Deku goes, yes, it would be lying, but at the current situation, it's either I lie and say you're ambassador, or I make claims that you are a human with a quirk, or I state that if I state you're a devil straight out without saying you're a ambassador or anything, there's a good chance that you're going to get murked. What does murk mean? You're going to get murdered. But I can take down most personnel I fight. Yeah, but you couldn't take down me or Bakugo, and we're people who are training to become heroes. Then again, I am on the level of being a pro hero already, and Bakugo is about halfway there, but still the situation is still as just. Okay, fine. Afterwards, Deku leads Elsie to the room and tells her, here you go, you can sleep here. You can sleep here. We'll get you clothes tomorrow after I'm done with school and everything, if you're not already instated in school by tomorrow. Okay. Deku then walks back out into the living room. Still using his four fingers across his head, he sits down and starts thinking about the situation he's in. And then he remembers, oh, I have to call All Might. So he picks up his phone and he starts calling up All Might's number. And he's like, Yun Midoriya, you finally called. You've been gone for 10 days. I was starting to get worried. Are you okay? And Deku's like, yes, All Might, I am, but we have a situation. And he's like, are you sure? You sound pretty exhausted. Are you sure we can't talk about this tomorrow at school? And Deku's like, no, because if we talk about tomorrow at school, I gotta bring the situation to school. And actually, I want to bring the situation to school because that would be the best option. And All Might asks, what do you mean? What's the situation? And Deku states, well, see, me and Bakugo went into hell. Okay. And inside hell, we killed about 6,000 demons. Okay. Wait, you murdered 6,000 demons? Yes, demons are not intelligent and they work more like feral beasts that are just told to kill humans, just like how I explained with ice elves. There's nothing we can do for it. But then we met an intelligent demon. A demon that's intelligent? Yes. It was a female, and her name is Elsie. We didn't murder the female because the female didn't have any voice telling her to murder us. So we figured, at this point, there was no reason to kill her. Okay. We had her take us back to her father, and then we got to the second floor, where me and Bakugo decided to teleport back here to live out and go to the sports festival and recalibrate ourselves because we had only spent 3 days in hell. Wait, but 10 days have passed out here, Yun Midoriya. Yes, I've come to the realization that 1 day in there equivalents to about 3 days and a third of a day out in the real world. Okay, and what's the situation? Well, you know, Elsie? Yes. She got teleported out too. Excuse me? Well, she got teleported out as well, and is currently sleeping in my room, and I have no clue what to do. Well, I think, well, I have an idea. Yes, I'm pretty sure that this is the situation you're talking about, and you said bring her to school. What do you mean by that? And I was like, and Midoriya's like, well, she is pretty intelligent. I'm not gonna lie. She's intelligent. She's about around our age, as well as we can pass her strength because her strength is about equivalent to, I want to say, Bakugo's. We can pass it off as a quirk and call her a transfer student to Class 1A. Young Midoriya, are you stating that you want to bring the demon in the class? Yes, she's not a bad person by any means, but I don't know how else to solve the situation other than bringing her into Class 1A. But Young Midoriya, this is tons of issues. I'm like, yes, I understand that this is tons of issues. That's why, can we add Principal Nezu to the call? And All Might calls up Principal Nezu, and Principal Nezu is now on the phone with him. He's like, yes, All Might, I've received your call. Is there an issue? I don't have an issue, but Young Midoriya does. And Midoriya says, yes, Nezu, I have an issue. Oh, Young Midoriya, what's the issue? Well, you see, I know you don't know this because I've only told All Might this, and I don't know if All Might told you, but for the past 2 weeks, I've been traveling to different dimensions with Bakugo and completing dungeon-like feats. What was that? Okay, to explain it into short and sweet, I've been traveling to different dimensions, killing monsters, and leveling up. Basically, my ability, it's not a quirk, gives me the capabilities to level up, like a video game character, and I can enter dungeons through it. Okay, I understand. Now, what's the issue? Well, you see, with one of the dungeons we went to, we found a creature that is not told to kill humans. It was a demon female named Elsie. And, we traveled up and we found out that intelligent demons are not forced to kill humans. So, when we got to the second layer, we were about to teleport out, me and Bakugo, to head back home so we can get ready for the UA Sports Festival, thinking that only 3 days had passed. When Elsie had tapped me in the shoulder and she got teleported out with us, and now she's in the human world. I see. So, what does this issue have to do with me? Why are you calling me? Well, I was wondering if we can take her into Class 1A. Now, I could kind of see where you're coming from, but why would we do that? Well, Principal Nezu, if we look at it from a logical perspective, she is basically as strong as Bakugo and as intelligent as Momorozu. She also has excellent potential to become a hero. We can claim that she is a transfer student and that's her quirk that changes her that way. Okay, I understand. And I do understand that these circumstances would call for this decision, but what about Mr. Aizawa that runs your class? And Deku says, I'll talk to Mr. Aizawa. I'll get Mr. Aizawa on board. I'll explain the situation. Me and All Might can both do it. And All Might's like, why are you dragging me into this? This is your issue. And Deku's like, yes, I know, but it sounds more believable when I say I got a demon girl from a different dimension if it comes from you and me rather than just me, because it's only us four, me, you, actually 5 because my mom knows too, know that I travel to different dimensions and that I kill monsters there to increase my level and allow me to summon them after resurrecting them. So that's the nature of your ability, Principal Nezu says. Yes, that's the nature of my ability. I'm a necromancer. Well, to be more accurate, I'm the upgrade form. I'm known as a shadow monarch. But this is the situation I'm in, where I have no clue what to do. Nezu shakes his head, sitting in his chair, and he states, yes, okay, I understand. I'll go through with your idea. Bring her to school tomorrow, and we should have an outfit ready for her. Do you know about her sizes? And Deku instantaneously thinks, fudge, I don't know anything about her sizes. I guess the best way to put it is that I'll bring her in tomorrow. I'll drop her off at the office. You can get her measured and get her a UA outfit uniform. And I'll also stay around there after explaining it to Aizawa, or actually, why don't I just take Aizawa there and then we can all discuss it there. And then explain to Aizawa the situation. Okay, yes, I understand. And what happens if she goes out of control? I can take her out. Deku says, clear and plain. And All Might's like, Yon Midoriya, you do understand what you're saying. And Deku explains, yes, All Might, I do. But you gotta remember that this is a being from a different dimension. It's not even human, and the situation, if calls for it, would require me to take her out. I've already taken all responsibility for even bringing her into this world, even though I did it on accident. I'm not afraid to finish her off. And All Might and Nezu both sit there for a moment in silence, and Nezu breaks in and says, okay, I understand. And do you have a estimated date for when you can take her back? And Deku states, probably 2 weeks. After the UA Sports Festival and any other emergencies that pop up, probably after 2 weeks. Okay, I understand. Tomorrow we'll all meet up inside my office and we'll discuss the issue further there. The next day, Deku and Elsie are walking to school. Elsie claims, so is this the UA you were talking about earlier? Yes, you'll be going here for the next 2 weeks, guaranteed. This is a pretty amazing building, especially since nothing's even on fire around here. There's no dead or scorched bodies. It's amazing, she says while in awe. Yes, the human world doesn't really have scorching or dead bodies. Deku walks into the school with Elsie trailing behind him. Elsie's in more of a plain t-shirt and jeans walking into the school. Most personnel on site are kind of confused about the female that's following in behind Deku, but then Deku explains that she'll be coming here for schooling and that he's just taking her to go meet Principal Nezu currently. She will not be participating in the UA Sports Festival. And most faculty just pass it off thinking as, oh, it's a transfer student and she's just getting introduced to the school. Okay. So Deku walks into Principal Nezu's room, and when he walks in, Aizawa, who's sitting on the couch on one side with All Might in his Small Might form, and Nezu's sitting in his principal's chair, Deku tells Elsie to sit over on the couch as Deku sits next to her, and Aizawa's like, so she's the one that I was getting told is transferring into my class. She's the demon? And Elsie's like, yes, I'm a demon. My name is Elsie. I'm from the lowest ranked clan out of the 16 clans in hell. And Aizawa's just in like complete shock that she's actually a demon. And then he looks towards Deku and he's like, so you brought a demon girl home, and now she has to join my class because of it. And Deku explains, I'll be taking full responsibility for any actions she takes. Not to mention she is staying at my house under my living care. I just have her inside the class so I can keep an eye on her. Think of it as a precautionary measure, not to mention it also would be better if she can be more aptly fit in with the other personnel here. And All Might's like, yes, this would be the smartest decision. Yon Midoriya did at least think it out smartly, seeing how he had only been home for 3 minutes before he came up with the decision. Not to mention me, Nezu, and him talked for a while last night. And Aizawa was like, fine, as long as you are keeping an eye on her, and I really don't have to care, then I'll go on my way home. Speaking of which, can demons even get quirks, and if so, what's hers? And Deku explains, no, she doesn't have a quirk. Elsie, what do you have? And Elsie explains, well, I'm very proficient with a rapier, as well as I also know multiple different sword skills. I'm also proficient with fire magic, And I'm not super proficient with water magic or earth, but I am more proficient with wind magic as well. So I can perform wind and fire magic to a good degree, while also performing it very poorly with water and earth. And metal I can barely perform at all, she explains. And Deku's like, okay, so we'll state that your quirk is that you can fire wind and fire. And then that's your quirk. This way we can cover it up. Not to mention at base you already are physically stronger than most human adult males. So we can state that's also a side effect of your quirk. Okay. And then Nezu's like, so, Miss Elsie. Yes, Principal Nezu? You will be starting to be in UA today. You'll be in the same class as Izuku Midoriya. As he's probably stated, there's a sports festival coming up. But you will not be participating in sports festival thanks to you joining today. It's also mainly because that we don't personally know or understand what ramifications it could have on your body being in the human world for an extended period of time, so we decided to take you to UA so you can be more safely watched during the daytime, especially because you'll be living with Izuku during the night. I figured it would be best for you to get to know Izuku better. And Principal Nezu's mainly pulling half this stuff out of his butt. But for you to actually go here, you need a uniform like Deku's. So can you please write down some information on this sheet of paper to explain what your uniform will look like and what you want for a hero costume? And Elsie tilts her head sideways and she's like, oh yes, I heard this world has heroes and villains and they fight each other commonly. Is the main objective to kill your opponents? She responds confused. And Principal Nezu's like, no. We do not murder the villains. We capture them and retain them and send them to prison. Oh, so you send them to a dungeon. Yes, so they can reform and be released as better working citizens. Oh, well that's pretty good. Maybe I should take note of this, and when I get back to my dimension, I can apply it there. That would be amazing. Nezu smiles. So she writes down stuff, and she says that she wants a purple costume with shoulder pads and knee pads and a chest plate. Seeing how she's already very quick, she decides to opt in for boots. And for any face style mobilia, she decides against it, because she thinks that the purple hair would be messed up with a face mask of any sorts. Afterwards, she then hands Principal Nezu the paper. Principal Nezu looks at it, looks over, and he's like, thank you, you'll get your stuff in a day's time. Currently, right now, I want you to go with Izuku Midoriya. And she follows Izuku Midoriya to Class 1A, where Aizawa also walks in. He tells her to stand just right outside of the class, and that Aizawa, when telling her to come in, you'll come in and introduce yourself as Elsie. You'll state that you are human, even though, yes, you are demon, you would introduce yourself as a human. You'll say that your quirk is known as Inferno, and that was it. And she goes, Inferno? Why would I introduce my quirk as Inferno? Because it's wind and fire. And he's like, yes, when wind and fire matches, it equals a stronger, more potent fire, which can be classified as an Inferno. And also, since you're from Hell, I figured you would like to have Inferno. Okay, I understand. Deku walks into the class, and Bakugo sees Deku, and he walks over and he's like, you shitty nerd, you planned that. And Deku smiles, he's like, you shouldn't have dipped last night. That doesn't give you the right to splash me and cover me in fucking water with one of your shadows. He's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have left. Did you know how hard that was? I had to talk with my mom for 5 minutes discussing the situation on her. Yeah, and what happened with her? Sit down, Aizawa pronounces to the class. Bakugo and Deku's like, well, you'll see. Bakugo gets a confused look on his face, and then he gets an, oh, fuck no, you better not have. And then Aizawa tells Bakugo once again to sit down, which Bakugo then sits down. And then Aizawa states, today we'll begin a new transfer student. She does not have her uniform yet, so please excuse her attire. Elsie then opens up the door and says, hello, my name is Elsie. I am a human girl, and I come from, I don't know. I'm currently living with Izuku Midoriya, and my quirk is called Inferno. And Mineta, Kamari, and Kirishima all look over, not Kirishima, Seto, all look over at fucking Deku with, like, a jealous look, because, not gonna lie, Elsie looking pretty fine. And Deku's just like, fuck, she didn't have to add on that last bit. And Aizawa tells Elsie that she can sit down next to Deku then, since she knows Deku. And Deku's like, fucking hell, god damn it. Both of y'all are evil. Elsie sits down next to Deku, and she asks Deku if she did good on her introduction. Deku's like, yes, you did. I would have at least left out that you lived with me. And she questions, why would I leave that part out? Deku explains that, well, you see, if you say you live with me, I'm gonna get fucking gained up on by all the guys. Why would I do that? And Deku explains, have you not seen yourself in the mirror? You're pretty good looking, I'm not gonna lie. And the guys will be jealous that I have a pretty good looking girl living with me. Oh, so you think I'm cute? She smiles, being playful with Deku. And Deku's like, yes, fine, whatever, I think you're cute. Now pay attention, Deku says. And Eraserhead chimes in, stating that, we'll be going down to the field. Get on your uniforms. Except for you, Elsie. Elsie, you'll be coming with me to get you fitted for a uniform. And then you'll be sitting with the teachers out of the way because you will not be participating because you just transferred in. Some of the guys protest, but most of them don't really care. Deku just takes a deep breath and breathes out and kind of shrugs it off as he walks down. He already has a law in his mind, and Bakugo catches him. He's like, you fucking brought her to UA? What the fuck, man? And Deku explains, what else was I meant to do? This was the best and safest option for us. We bring her to UA, she's living with me now, and also the current situation we're in is kind of fucked. So yes, I don't feel bad about bringing her to UA. Fuck! There's so many better ways we could have done this. Really? Name one. How about we didn't fucking bring her to UA? Whatever. Okay. I have to do the sports festival introduction space. And then we have to do the sports festival, okay? She will be here for the next 2 weeks. Everyone's gonna start talking to her, and she'll probably make some friends. I don't know, maybe she'll even decide to stay. Okay, whatever, you shitty nerd. I ain't taking responsibility for shit. And Deku's like, don't worry, I've already taken all of it. Deku and Bakugo both walk out. President Mike states that Deku should have to give a speech, and Deku stands up on the podium and gives a speech explaining about how that we should all be good friends and that we should all be pretty nice to each other during the event. Afterwards, the race begins. Deku just summons out Y the Wyvern, and Bakugo says, I never fucking understand why you called that thing fucking Y. There's so many fucking better names. Bakugo yells at Deku, and Deku's like, I don't know why you care so much. And Bakugo's just getting pissed off by it as he's just exploding, trying to catch up to Deku flying on his wyvern. But Deku soars over everything. Shoto comes in third, shortly after Bakugo, who came in second, which both got easily beat by Deku, who came in first. And that's where I'm going to leave it off today. I know, I only did a portion of the section, but if you liked it, hit the like button, and if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, goodbye.